Matt Patella asked me to do a video on flams, on stick control and flam section, and I agreed to do that, even though I don't uh, do the stick control flam sections normally uh, uh, in my uh, routine. I don't use that much of this of the stick control book, but I am familiar with it, and it would be good to point out some things about flams that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. And before we begin, first of all, I said this in another video, but I want to say it again. This is not field drumming, and if you're trying to learn to work in a field drum line, but this has nothing. This has nothing to do with that. This is just how I approach George Stone's stick control exercises from his book. So the first thing I want to do is show you what it looks like. So here's the book, and here's the flam section. It's quite elaborate. I mean, it goes on, you know. There's a lot of combinations. Let me list. I'll give you the number exact. Oh, here we are. There's 192 plan combinations that he goes through, but you don't really have to do that. I mean, I find that there's a correlation between the first 3 pages, which has 72 exercises. He used the same kind of methodology. This has 72, but if you look at it closely on the first page, there's 13 primary exercises in the front. Primary 13. Singles right, singles left, doubles right, doubles left, paradiddle, first inversion, second inversion, third inversion, 3 in the right hand, 3 in the left hand, 3 in the left hand, 3 in the right hand, and then the 4 in each hand on 13. And then he starts to do a combination of 1 and 2, the singles against doubles. And then and then the next would be the singles against paradiddles, which creates the triple paradiddle. You can see his methodology here is that he has 13 basic exercises that he states, and then he starts to, and then the rest of the 72, he fleshes out by doing combinations of the first 13 basic. So the same thing is going on. You can see he was even more explicit about it. He drew a double line after the first 18. Of course, instead of 13, he states 18 exercises, and then he draws a line before he goes through the other 192, which are a combination of these first 18. So the way I approach this immediately is that's a lot of material. So that what I want to work on is the first 18 is what's most important for me to learn, because everything else I do, if I want to continue, is going to be based on those first 18. Okay, that's the first thing I want to present to everybody. So I'm gonna present the first 18. I've done all 192. At some point in my career, it was a long time ago, a real long time ago. I'm an old guy. Uh, but when I decided to work on this section, which I have done at various periods of time, just to retouch the flam exercising every so often, I usually go to the 18 and work on those. Right. The other thing I want to say about this is that there are no accents, just like the front of the book. There's no accents in stick control. In the entire book, there's not one accent. So it's all free stroke exercises. However, the flams are the only exercises that involve multiple levels. Okay, but the trick though is that it's not using a higher level to create the flame. It's using a lower level. It's a three level system that's defined. It's the full stroke level, and this is all relative, okay? But there's a accent level which is really up from here, and then there's a tap level which is from here, and then there's a grace note level. So it's half and then quarter. He called it full, half, and then quarter. And so your normal playing level was half. This is where you always are. And then when you want to play an accent, you go to full level. And when you want to play a flam, you go to quarter level. You go down instead of going up. And that's how you can. That's the only way to do these exercises and not play an accent. But you have to keep. All right. So the example would be I'll just do the stickings without the flams. The flams is supposed to be a thickener. It's not really an accent. So I'll show you the difference. Exercise 1 is this sticking. So if I were to add the flam, I went down. I didn't go. That's an accented flam. So for an accented flam, I got 3 levels going on. I have to go down for the greystone, I have to go up for the accent, and then I have to return back here for the regular tapping strokes. Very complicated. Well, if you look at it slowly, it looks like this. It's a free stroke, then a downstroke, and then an upstroke and a free stroke. That's what it is. Free, down, up, free. Free on the right and back up. So it's I'm getting two different sounds. I'm getting a half stroke sound, and I'm getting a softer grace note sound. And if I want to see, but then I have to do another, so I have to stay up here for the free stroke unless I want to use a whip. And I don't have to make that upstroke, you know. But the accent has nothing to do with the flam. It's happening on the other hand, and to play the accent, I'm going in the opposite direction as I would for the grace note. I'm going to go down for the grace note, I'm going to go up for the accent, and then I'm going to go down to return and up to return. You know, if I'm going to play with accents, but I don't want to do that. I want to learn how to do flams first. So exercise 1 is, that's more tripping. It's got to start it here. I mean, I don't practice that this way. I mean, you know, I learned it this way, and I can break it down to this, and I can practice it that way and do it perfectly. But it's so slow. It becomes second nature now that I'm just naturally going down and not playing an accent unless I really want to. You know, so I'll show you how that works. It's, instead of this, I lose this. So I only want this for the flam. Okay. This number 2 is the reverse of that. And number 3 is the alternate of number 1 and 2. Remember, I'm not doing accents. That's the accented version when I'm going up for the accent. Still going down for the flam. Okay, number 4 is now we get into, instead of a double stroke, we get into a single stroke. So it's this. And number 5 is the same kind of single sticking, but it's in one direction. There's no alternation. So it's this. Okay, number 6 is the same thing, but left-handed. Okay, and then number 7 is the inversion of the alternate singles, which is with the flams, it gets to be this. So actually, the tendency is to want to play a right-hand flam and then go to the left and play left-hand flam. So the flam sequence is right hand to left hand to right hand to left hand on the normal. But this is inverted. I'm going to my left-hand flam from a right-hand lead. As opposed to which is number 4. And this is the inversion. So, okay, same rhythm, except the sticking's different. Then he finally gets into quads. He gets out of this the 2/16 and an 1/8 mode. He gets into quads, and he gets straight at the single quads. But with an accent, with an accent, it would be. But he wants to add a flam. Okay. Then number 9 is the same thing, singles, but in reverse. Now notice I'm just doing an 1/8 note vamp with my left hand. Nothing changes. If I'm playing an accent, I'd be doing this. I was doing an accent, but I'm not. I'm doing this. Okay? Same thing here. Okay. All right, and then number 10, we finally gets to the flam paradiddle. And then the number 11 is the flam tap. And then number 12, he gets into it's an inverted paradiddle. I'll show you the sticking. It's an inverted paradiddle, the third inversion paradiddle with a flam on the count. Okay. Okay. And then he gets into the double stroke. With a flam. And then it's 13. And 14 is the reverse of that, left-handed. Then 15 is the second inversion paradiddle, this one. Okay. Then, no, it's 15. It's 16. Okay. I think of this as fours. But they go over the beat line. Okay. Number 17 is the first inversion paradiddle. And number 18 is the 4 in a hand. Okay, and I'm not really going through all the down quarter or up half. I mean, the important thing is to understand the concept that your grace note hand has to go down, has to do a downstroke, has to go down, and then come back to a playing level if there's more taps after that are not grace notes. From here back to here, so you continue to get this evenness. There's a little wave. It's not, it's almost like a batucada. It's not really straight rhythm. There's a little wobble in it. Okay, so that's how I practice the flam section of stick control. And I'm sorry that I'm not more adept at executing what I know about it, because I'm not really involved in it at this point. This is the kind of stuff where you really have to do this stuff every day if you really want to get good at it. And even after you're good at it, if you don't do it every day, it's not at your fingertips when you want it. So if you like using flams, you really have to do something every day with flams as well, just to keep it in your repertoire. Okay.